Good morning, students. Today we are learning our 6th class physical science. In this, your first chapter is matter. Now, first we will learn the definition of matter. First one is, what is matter? We would learn the definition of matter only in this class. Here, in our day-to-day life, you are seeing so many things around you, like a pencil box, a chair, a table, a gas cylinder, plants, animals, all these you are seeing in your day-to-day life. Now here some are living things, some are non-living things. In this living and non-living things, apart from this, we are also seeing some things made by man. We call them as man-made things or artificial things. Now here, all these things, in this either a living or a non-living things, we have certain things there. First one is, we will learn mass. Second thing is space. Space means the place, how much the place an object is occupying. Mass means, let us take an example of your pencil box. Does your pencil box has some weight? Do you feel some mass there? We will feel some mass of the object like your pencil box. Now, when you keep it on a chair or a table, do your pencil box occupy some space there? Your pencil box also occupies some space. We observe that your pencil box has both mass and it is occupying a space. Now matter. Matter means anything that has both mass and occupy some space is called as matter. Anything that has both mass and it is occupying some space, we call it as a matter. Now in all these examples, we will find out whether they are having mass and whether they are occupying the space or not. Let us take your next example, table. You all might have seen a table at your home. Now when you lift a table, do we feel that it is heavy? Yes. That means your example table. When we are feeling heavy, we can say it has some mass. Now when you are keeping or lifting a table and placing it somewhere, does it occupy some place there? Now, hence your table also occupies some place. Now your table, example, your table, is it a matter? Yes, it has both mass and it is occupying space. Hence, our table is also comes under an example of a matter. Now, not only table, take any other example like your gas cylinder. You might have seen your mom using a gas cylinder for cooking purpose. Does gas cylinder, when you lift it up, you will feel some weight or not? Yes. Now we said a gas cylinder has a mass. Now when I am lifting the cylinder and placing it on the ground, does it occupy some place? Yes. When it is occupying a place, can I say it has space? Occupied some space. Now your gas cylinder has both the things like mass and space. Now can I say my gas cylinder is also a matter? Yes. All these things we will see in our day-to-day life, so many things all comes under matter. Now not only this, you have seen certain examples. Let us take another example like, does this comes under matter or not? We will find out. Our first example is sound. A second example is taste. A third example is smell. Let us find out, does these three examples comes under matter or not? First example is sound. How do we see a sound? No, we will hear a sound. Any song is played in your music player or a CD, we will be hearing a sound. Only we are able to hear the sound. Now able to hear, that means it is a feeling of our body. Sound disc or your sound CD player, it has mass. Sound, it's a property, you are able to hear the sound. Now here sound doesn't have mass, it doesn't have occupied any space, hence sound doesn't comes under matter. Okay, what I said, anything which has mass and occupying some space is called as matter. Now taste. Let us see the second example, taste. How do we taste? We taste with our tongue. See, if you have a spicy chicken curry or something, you will be saying it is spicy to your mom. Yes or no? That means spicy is the feeling. It's not a mass or it doesn't has occupied any space. It's a feeling observed by us. Hence, taste doesn't comes under your matter. Next, smell. If I give you any flower, rose flower, let us assume. What you will do? You will smell the flower. Smelling a flower, that means a fragrance of a rose flower. It is also your sensory organ according to your biosense. Okay, these three, not only these three, so many are there. These all doesn't comes under matter. Like another example, you will be loving your parents. Yes or no? Loving. You are taking care of your parents. All these doesn't comes under matter. They are only the feelings you are sharing with them. They doesn't have mass and they doesn't occupy any space. Hence, these all doesn't comes under matter. Now, what is matter? Matter is which has mass and occupying space is called as matter. Okay? Like pencil box, I have given you an example. Like your bench, you are sitting on a bench in a school. Now, when you lift your bench, do you feel heavy weight or not? We will feel. That means it has mass. Now when you are sitting or placing a bench on the ground, is it occupying a space? It is occupying a space. Now can I call your bench as a matter? Yes, it is a matter. Now after learning about the matter, we will learn, as we said, matter is a one which has mass and a space. Today, next we will learn about an activity to demonstrate a simple activity you can do at your home. Activity to show that stone occupies space. First we will find out whether our stone ante rayi telugulo, stone, does it comes under matter or not, we will find out. Stone, take a stone, place it on the ground. Now when I am placing it on the ground, is it occupying some space? Koncham place occupy chesinda? Yes, it has occupied some space. Now I can say stone has occupied some space. When you are holding a stone in your hand, do you feel some weight there? Yes. Now can I say my stone has what? Both mass and it is occupying space. Now does this comes under matter? Yes. What I said, any object or anything that has mass and occupies space always comes under matter. Hence, in your textbook, activity to show that matter. In place of stone, you can also write matter occupies space. Okay? For this, your heading is to show that a stone is occupying space. Now next we will see what are the materials required. To do this activity, what are the materials we require? Take a beaker. Okay? Take a stone. Another one is take a small thread. What we are taking? Beaker, stone, thread. In your textbook it may be written as glass tumbler. Okay? It's a beaker, stone and a thread. Now we need to show, what is our aim? We need to show that stone has occupied some place or a space. Now next materials afterwards we have procedure. It's a procedure. How to do this activity now? Now for this, first take a beaker. Now in this, not only a thread and a stone, take some amount of water also. Now take a beaker, fill the beaker completely with water. What is there inside the beaker? There is water. Completely fill the beaker with water. Now take a stone. Stone you take, tie a thread to the stone. What do we need to do? Take a stone, tie a thread to the stone. Now after filling the beaker completely with water, drop the stone. What is there inside the beaker? You have water. Now completely immerse the stone inside the beaker with water. First what we have taken? We have taken a beaker. We have filled it with water. Completely you fill the beaker with water. After filling the beaker with water, you take a stone, tie a thread to a stone and dip it inside the water. What do you observe there? Like this, take a stone, let us assume this as a stone, tie a thread to this stone and dip it inside a beaker containing water. What do you observe there? After immersing or dipping the stone inside the water, some amount of water will be flowing out. Yes or no? Some amount of water which is there inside the beaker has been overflown. Now my question is, why did the water has overflown when I dip a stone inside the water? Any guesses? When I have immersed a stone inside the water, why did some amount of water has been coming out? Here, when did the water has come out? When I immersed the stone inside the water. Before immersing the stone, does water has occupied all the space inside the beaker? Yes. Now when I have immersed a stone inside the beaker, some amount of water has come out. That means here our stone has occupied some space. Can I say that? My stone has occupied some space when I dipped the stone inside the water. Hence, when I have dipped, then only the water has overflown. Now can I say stone has occupied some space? Yes or no? Yes. Hence, by using this activity, we can say that matter occupies space. Okay? Understood, children? Now, today your homework is, note down your homework. Your first question is, what is matter? Second thing is, write an activity to show that stone occupies space. Okay? Whatever activity I have told you, the same activity you write in your own words. Okay, children? How I told you? Whatever activity, first aim, materials, procedure, and the last thing, observation and the result. Okay, children. Thank you.